Do you have anything, like, is there something like that we can do for ourselves, for someone watching, if they find themselves, wow, I always seem to go into this funk, or I always seem to get myself into this state. Is there a way that we can break our own patterns that can be helpful?
There is. I think the first step is the awareness that it is a pattern, that it is not you. It's really hard to change yourself. It's easy to change a pattern. But when you've lived a pattern so often, we get the illusion that that's me, that I'm, a person that puts things off, I'm a procrastinator, or I'm, not aggressive, or whatever it is. And we have all these aspects of our life, some of which are more developed than others, but they're in there. So I think being aware of the pattern, its limit is step one. And then step two is breaking it. But people can break their pattern easily. They just don't, not only because they're in it, but because most people have never decided to say, I'm not going to tolerate this in myself anymore. So awareness is step one. Step two is raising the standard and going, this just isn't me. This is not what I stand for. This is not good for my kids. This is not good for my husband or wife. This is not good for the world. It's not good for me. And then putting a line in the sand that says, this ends here now. And then how to break your pattern. There's a million ways to break your pattern. I mean, all lasting change happens in an altered state. See, most of us think of hypnosis, like people say, you can't hypnotize me, and they're usually in a trance when they're telling me that. I don't hypnotize anybody, I de-hypnotize them. We've been hypnotized by our culture to settle for things. We've been hypnotized by our past to think of ourselves as being limited when we're not. And so what I really try to do is I alter people's state, because in an altered state, you'll do it. Just knowing, most of us know what doesn't work and what works. Most of us know when we're screwing up. Most of us know what we should do, but we don't do it. And the reason is because in that state of mind, you're not going to. If you want, I can go on a rant on what is my highest level mission right now.
Yes, please.
Okay. So for decades, my obsession has been, what makes the difference in people, right? Why do some people, you give them everything, love, joy, tremendous education, economic well-being, and they end up going in and out of rehab all day long? How many actors, actresses, wealthy people have you seen do this? It's sad. And then there are people that life has just beat the hell out of, right? People have gone through physical abuse, sexual abuse, emotional, spiritual abuse. And many of those people, rather than being broken, become so hungry, so driven, because they don't want anybody else to experience that. I'm an example of that they become masterful in things, right? But along the way, I was like, okay, so what am I really about? I said, my real mission is to help people get what they really want. And help them have what I would call, you might say, I want to lose weight, I want to make more money, I want to have a better relationship. But what people really want is an extraordinary life, a magnificent life, which to me is life on your terms. Not Tony's terms, not your friend's terms, not even your spouse's terms. Like, what is going to light you up in this life? And once people know what that is, you need two skills to get there. One I've taught for decades, the science of achievement. And you know me well enough, and I know you well enough, that we both have been obsessive about finding the strategies that can help people get the result they want faster than they ever have. And you're brilliant at it, and I'm really good at it, and we have a lot of friends that are really good at it. But most people can figure that out. We can help them do it faster. And I think that's a great service, and I love being able to do that. And I love knowing answers that can help people so quickly. But it's a science to achieve, meaning if you look around and I wrote a book, I think about a year ago. I spent 4 years on it, and I wanted to answer the question, how do I help people financially in a world where most people are suffering, especially with the markets in turmoil? And I thought, I don't have those answers. I have some answers. The people with the best answers, the ones you should go. If you want to achieve something, find somebody getting the result you want and model them. Success leaves clues. Go find out, right? My original teacher, Jim Rohn, taught me that. I never forgot it. So I went out and interviewed 50 of the smartest financial people in the world. Everybody from Warren Buffett, Carl Icahn, and I found the common patterns. If you live by these patterns, you'll have more than enough money. You may not be a billionaire, but you'll have more than enough money. If you violate these rules, the science, you're going to have too much month at the end of the money. You're going to be stressed out. Same thing with your body. We're all biochemically unique, but there are rules you and I both know scientifically that if we violate them, our energy drops. If we align, and we're going to have disease, if we align with them, high energy. So that's the science of achievement. Get there quicker. How do you do it? One, obsess about what you want, right? Focus on it continuously. Have so much emotion about it that you take massive action. Keep changing your approach. Model somebody really great. And then with some grace, take some grace too. Yep. Some call it luck. Some call it God. If you do the first 3 steps, that 4th step usually kicks you over. But the more important lesson, and the one that I'm obsessed by getting into people's minds, I really appreciate me planting the seed with everybody. the one that'll change your life more is the art of fulfillment. And I say the art of fulfillment because what will turn you on, excite you, fulfill you is going to be different than this man here who I know is your friend behind the camera and this beautiful lady here. It doesn't matter how close we are, we all still are fulfilled by slightly different things. And so, what I really want is I believe that success without fulfillment is the ultimate failure. And I really want people to be fulfilled even more so because billionaires, that sounds ridiculous, but they're a dime a dozen. That's an exaggeration, meaning lots of people become billionaires. What's a hell of a lot more rare is someone who loves life every single day and stays happy when it doesn't go their way. There's nothing worse than an angry rich man, an angry rich woman. You want to slap them. It's like they have every benefit in life, but that's what the human mind does. The human brain is 2 million years old, and this is not designed to make you happy. It's designed to make you survive. And survival, it does it by fear. So what the brain does is looks for, what do I need to fight or flight from? And so it's always looking for what's wrong. And our minds can take us over unless your heart is what's running you. So what I try to do is show people how to shift that. Achievers don't think they have fear. Yeah. I've shared with you before, like stress is the achiever word for fear. I'm never fearful, I'm just stressed. Well, if I follow your stress, it'll take me to your fear. So what I found is I suffered because suffering, there's only 2 states you can live in, 2 types. Beautiful states of being. Happiness would be one. But if you just try to be happy all the time, it's not real. Right? If some people smile so much their face hurts. It's a beautiful thing, but our nervous system needs variety in our nervous system. So think of it this way. Beautiful states could be awe. It could be love. It could be passion. It could be a courageous moment. It could be being driven. It could be happy. But in those states, no one has to tell you what to do, and you always treat yourself and others in the right way, and no one has to tell you to, because in that state, you just do the right thing, in those states. The other states we can live in are suffering states. And I have a good friend named Krishnaji. I was in India with him. We were having a discussion. He goes, you talk about peak states and, lousy states. He goes, I look at those as suffering and beautiful states. And I was like, so suffering would be frustration, anger, overwhelm, stress, worry, loneliness, depression. There's a range of them. And I wasn't depressed, but I'd be, of course, pissed off or frustrated, overwhelmed at times. And that's part of life.
Right.
Here's what I believe today. That's not part of life. That's the mind. That if you don't manage it, you can have everyone loving you. You can have those beautiful family. You can have 20 Academy Awards. You can have all the money you could spend, and you're still going to be in pain. So my invitation to those viewers that are watching us, and to you as a dear friend, is to raise the bar on what we call suffering so you see it for what it is, and to realize that you can free yourself from it. And it's not some ethereal, spiritual thing from India to do that. It's just, I think life is too short to suffer.